Guys, today we are reacting to the understated wisdom of SSR. This is when SSR addressed the IIT students. Let's check this out. This is from the channel called Brut India. And if you're new to the channel, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're a fan of SSR, let me know in the comments. Let's go.
So excuse me if I falter. Excuse me if I don't make sense. Excuse me if I get a panic attack right now. But I'll try my best.
We love you anyway!
As I love your introduction, thank you so much for that.
SSR.
I was of carrying shits in colleges, so I became an actor because I had a problem. I was an introvert. You know, I'm the youngest of my family, and I was so pampered in my house that when I used to step out, I didn't know how to deal with people.
Yo, before we even continue, can you imagine how this is? He's saying that he became an actor, which is the worst fear of an introvert. But he became an actor because he was an introvert, because he had that problem. That is crazy. I think I relate to this because I also am somewhat of an introvert. And YouTube has helped me to be a little bit more social and, you know, face my fears. But guys, growing up, I was so isolated from everyone, and I didn't like social gatherings. I still feel like I am a little bit of an introvert. I'm very shy, very timid. So in front of the camera, that helps me to kind of like feel a little bit loose, you know, but I understand where he's coming from.
So I gradually became this very shy introvert kid who could not talk.
I couldn't talk
Well,
either.
I still cannot talk.
Come on.
And I have this stage fright. So what I do generally as an actor is I hide behind all these fascinating characters, and then I'm confident. But like right now, as I'm not acting, so there are problems that I'll screw it up. So excuse me if I falter. Excuse me if I don't make sense. Excuse me if I get a panic attack right now. But I'll try my best.
We love you anyway!
Guys, I have a confession. Many times before coming and recording my videos, I get anxious. I get, you know, butterflies in my stomach. Even after doing this for 3 years, I still get anxious. I still get, you know, that it's not a panic attack, but it's, you know, my hands like get sweaty. I get, you know, I feel nauseous. I feel like, you know, I still go through these things, so I understand what he is saying.
Alright, I would love to share my journey with you, my learnings, and in case you decide to drop out and join me in Bollywood, it will come very handy. So, I was thinking in the car, what do I talk about? What can I tell you that you already don't know? I'm assuming, and I think most probably, you guys are way much more smarter and better than what I was when I was your age. But after deep thinking, I zeroed down into two things that I can actually discuss about. These two things talk about chasing your dreams and actually living your dreams, which unfortunately nobody mentioned to me when I was starting out. And those two things are, can I write down? Can you see this board? I always wanted to do this in front of professors, so I just...
Guys, thinking, like, he's making me think about my life. A person who had or has stage fright, a person who couldn't talk. I still have some hard times thinking of words and talking. A person so shy, so timid, so introverted, becoming, first of all, a teacher, where you have to stand in front of people and actually teach and talk. Everyone is looking at you. And second of all, a YouTuber. where I sit in front of the in front of the camera. I think being a YouTuber is even easier because I talk to the camera. There's nobody here. I have headphones on, so I don't even hear my voice. It's actually helped me to speak louder, the headphones, because I used to speak very low, very towards, inside. Now I speak up, I speak out, and I think it's easier for me to be in here looking at the camera and talking to the camera than it is to be a teacher. But I became both of these things, and who knows, in the future I could, go into acting if, anybody hires me. But for that I need to face my fear of auditioning first.
Those two things are the biggest lie and the only truth about success that I was told about. Now, the biggest lie was money plus recognition is equal to happiness, is equal to success. So let me begin by mentioning that I come from a very middle-class family. And when I was growing up, money was a big differentiator in my life. Also, in the 3 generations of my family that I know of, that are documented, nobody knew what fame felt like. So basically, both money and recognition were missing when I started out. So I already started out as a failure. Let me be very precise. My family told me that I had to become an engineer. Medicals were booked for my sisters. So once I'm an engineer, then I can, try civil services examination, and then probably, that will be like opening the doors for all kind of happiness, and I'll be forever successful. I'll be forever happy. This is the conditioning that I experienced when I was growing up. All right, fair enough. Good deal. So I became very good in studies. Did fairly well in my 10th board exams. And then off I went to Delhi for my +2, got myself enrolled in a nice school, and Vidyamandir and Fiji and half a dozen of other coaching institutes. And I used to share my room with 3 other aspirants. What it meant was, every day after finishing my assignments, school assignments, and preparing for my engineering entrance exam, I had to wash my clothes and I had to cook food for myself. But I wasn't complaining. Well, it was worth it, because after all, I was, for the very first time in my life, I was so close to become successful for the first time.
I mean, washing your clothes and cooking for yourself is standard, like if you're single. I remember I went to my main, my hometown, São Paulo. I went there without anyone. As soon as I turned 19, I went to live by myself in São Paulo, big city. And it's tough when you decide, to go independent. It's tough. It really is.
In my life. So finally I slogged, I got selected for several engineering colleges, and I decided to take admission in Delhi College of Engineering, which is now known as DTU. Thank you. Were you my senior or junior? There was a celebration like this in my family too. I could finally stop for a while and breathe, I was telling myself that, you know what, now you're made it. You should be happy because you're supposed to be happy. But it wasn't working that much. Something was missing. There was a void that I could feel. So I thought maybe something bigger was required. For some reason, incessantly, while the first 18, 19 years of my life, the future me was much happier, much successful than the present me. So I was like, all right, fine. So I was forcing myself. I promised, I started preparing for civil services examination, and I was forcing myself to slog, but I was bored. UPSC exams were still far away. In the meantime, I thought of doing theater, and I thought to learn dance because to counter the shyness that I still have, And also because there were no girls in my engineering college for some reason. I felt cheated, man. We slog so much, you crack the entrance exam and you find that there are no girls. So, yeah.
Is that true? Are there like very less girls in engineering classes?
Somebody told me that there are very good-looking girls in dance schools. So I was like, fine, I'll go there. And once I started with performing arts, I knew one thing for sure. I knew that I quite like it. And 3 years later, imagine me sitting in the campus, and I'm thinking, all right, I'm really interested in performing arts. And all I want to do is to earn money and to be recognized. So if I become a movie star, I actually was very serious and I dropped out, oh my gosh, in the 3rd year, when I was just 2 semesters away from getting the degree.
Oh, come on.
Came to Mumbai, got heavily into theatre and also other skills that I thought were necessary to become an actor. And by the way, this time I stayed with 6 other guys in a single-room kitchen, but this time I was prepared for it.
Wow.
This time, there was one difference. I was driven. My self-respect was at stake. My ex-college mates, one of them is sitting right here in black shirt, they thought that I was that disaster that folks in engineering and B schools should never become. So I had to prove a point to everybody. I had to prove a point.
He had no
to my family.
choice, right?
Most importantly, I had to prove a point to myself.
He had no choice
And
but
this
to
was the
succeed.
time when I was also a background dancer. So I was dancing behind all the possible stars that you can think of, Shah Rukh Khan, Shahid Kapoor, everybody. And I was thinking to myself while I was performing, okay, it's just 3 steps away, there I have to get. And everything will be sorted. And I kept going like that. And 2 years later, guess what? I got myself my first big break.
That's
I was
nice, man.
selected for a primetime show on a TV. Now hear me out, it was seriously a big break because I started earning.
He became
People
a
started
professional.
recognizing me. To be honest, I would deliberately go and roam in all these malls so that people could look at me, smile, ask for a photo.
I recognize him. Hey, that's good personal marketing. If you go out and people are taking pictures of you, they will share these pictures and people will they will actually promote you and your image. That's a good strategy also.
And I was watching myself on TV for the first time. You have no idea how it feels for somebody like me to, I was looking at me and I was looking at myself every day on TV. It was a big, big, big high. I also suddenly discovered that I actually had many friends. I'm like, who were absent all this while, but suddenly they popped up. And the show became popular. I was making good money to a point that money stopped being a differentiator in my life.
Wow.
And I was becoming more and more popular. Now I cannot go to all those malls that I was going all alone. So I wanted somebody to be with me, to save me. I bought myself my first dream house. I bought myself my dream car. And just a note to you as well. I was getting such female attention that my engineering college friends could only possibly dream of.
What a player. And he even winked, bro.
So I was having
Yes, I know the feeling.
a time of my life. And then something unusual happened. I got used to everything. And I felt cheated. I stayed with all these dreams for 10 and 15 years of my life. I was promised happiness and I was promised success. But all these things stayed with me just for a few days.
Wow.
And I'm punctuating me because I started from zero money and zero recognition. So I was not happy. How can that it be? I didn't like this version of success. And the future me again was luring the present me. But this time, I decided otherwise. I would do something else. So that gets us to the second point, which is the only truth. I won't take too much time. I'll just try to keep it short. I figured something. I figured that something seemingly big things were not that big once I got them. And looking back in the past, I realized that maybe smaller things were way bigger. And there was one thing that was missing in my life that was the cause of this illusion. And that thing that was missing was now. I was, all these years, I was obsessed about what's gonna happen. I used to draw those flowcharts that we are taught in schools. That if this happens, I'll do that, and 6 months from now, I'll be here. So I wanted to be in control. I was so obsessed about my future. I was taking the entire responsibility about the past. But all I was doing was frequently swinging from past to future.
Wow.
Not living in actual sense.
Bro, we see many people saying that you shouldn't live in the past, you shouldn't dwell in the past. But this is also interesting. You shouldn't live in the future. Because sometimes when you're living in the past, you hold some kind of regret, you hold some kind of remorse. But when you're living in the future, you hold anxiety, you hold the what ifs of life. You understand? You tend to think of, you have a sense of urgency, you have a sense of just focusing on getting somewhere where sometimes you don't even need to be there. And living in the now, what he is mentioning, is very important. Enjoy what you have now. What you're going to have in the future, enjoy it in the future. You know, worry about that in the future when you cross that bridge. So that's a very strong message.
Well, I also figured that when I perform on stage or in front of camera, I'm so much excited. I am so much interested. I was paying so much attention that there was no room to think about future or the past. I was just there in the moment. I was alive in true sense when I was performing. And for the first time, trust me, in a long time, I understood the true meaning of success, which was not money plus recognition, but it was now plus excitement. This realization happened in 2011, and it has been 5 years. Now let me share another very short story with you. When I was in school, 4 to 5:30 p.m. was the time when I was allowed to go out and play. I was asked to be an engineer, but the entire day I used to wait for 4 p.m. to happen. I would step out, and the next 1.5 hours felt like 5 minutes. I didn't understand this then, but now very honestly, very confidently, I can tell you this, that I'm living that 4 to 5:30 life right now since last February.
Wow. Live in the present, guys. That's the message.
Cause and effects are not different. Excitement is the cause, excitement is the effect. I get tired again and again because all these success mantras that we talk about, hard work, belief, focus, vision, risk-taking, talent, perseverance, we can go on and on. But all these success mantras, are now the side effects of the process itself. I'm so engaged, it commands my attention so much that there's nothing else that I can think about. So hard work doesn't feels like hard work, and there's nothing else that you can do but to persist. Talent you will cultivate, vision you will get, focus there is no other way, because it's commanding your attention so much. So here I am right now, 5 years down the line. Money and fame, although still could not earn back their reputation in my life. But let me show you one thing. I have much more of them than I had ever planned. And the best thing, my college, one of the professors was very dear to me, called me recently about asking me to plan this interaction with students, and I very humbly requested that can I get my degree back. and it's happening, and I'm very excited again. Thank you so much, guys.
Did he go back to school? Was his announcement? Guys, that was a very strong message. This is from the channel Brute India, and wow, living in the present, that's the message. Don't focus on the past and don't worry about the future. Just live the present, the now. Very strong message from SSR. It's so sad that he's not here with us, but you know, we could see that this man loved reading. We can see that by his house full of books, full of shelves with books. He had very, very deep wisdom. He had a room where he said he goes in there to think. So, you know, this man spent a lot of time with his thoughts, and by this speech that he gave, you can see what he was meditating and trying to understand himself, trying to understand, you know, why fame and money didn't bring him happiness. And once he realized in 2011 that he shouldn't live in the past and he shouldn't worry about the future, he should live now and then that's when he was the happiest. So may he rest in peace. I am so happy that he lived this happiness, this excitement. I'm so happy that he had this opportunity, and you know, we still have a lot of his movies to remind us of what a great, energetic, fun person he was. But then again, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Let me know what I should react to next. Take care now. Bye-bye. Now you can get full access to exclusive content, special reactions to shows, series, anime, full movies, and even request a video of your choice. Just become a YouTube member or join Buy Me a Coffee today. Find out more. The link is in the description.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game.